Hello there, welcome to Parenting Hacks with Dr. Yanina, and this is episode 22. Welcome back to the show. I am always excited to have you. And as you know, this is a show in which I share one or two practical tips, hacks, strategies, whatever you want to call it, to help you have healthier and stronger relationships with your preteen and teen. So before I dive into today's episode, I wanted to let you know that this is actually a 3-video series which I have titled The Dangers of Comparing Siblings. So if you have not done so yet, I invite you to check out episode 21, which is the episode that I introduce the series, and I talk about two of the many consequences of comparing our children, and also share a practical parenting hack to help you in this specific area. So again, if you have not done so yet, go ahead and maybe pause this video or maybe watch this one, but make sure that you go back to episode 21 so you don't miss that amazing and very important practical parenting hack. And the truth is that sometimes we compare our children. It happens sometimes. Sometimes we'll do it intentionally, but other times we don't even realize that we're comparing it. It comes up in conversations, it comes up in the heat of the moment, and sometimes it just happens. But what I want you to know is that if this is something you have done it, or if this is something that you're doing, it is never too late to change. It's never too late to make things better. And maybe you might have to do some tweaking here and there, and it might require some time, but I want you to be gracious to yourself, and I want you to understand that we all make mistakes as moms, and the important thing here is that we identify those mistakes and we work toward making it better, and we end up doing things better. So this week I'm going to be sharing one parenting hack that will help you deal with one of the consequences that I mentioned in my previous episode, which is low self-esteem. What happens is that when we are constantly comparing our children, the message that we are letting them know when we compare them with others or other siblings is that they are not good enough. I mean, think about it. When you're telling them you should do this like your brother, your sister does this better, what are you saying? Consciously or unconsciously, intentionally or unintentionally, you're letting her or him know that she or he is not good enough or is not doing things the way their brother or sister is doing. And as a result, what happens when we hear this type of message over and over again, as a result, insecurities are going to start popping up. So when your child is experiencing low self-esteem, of course, your child is going to be experiencing all these insecurities that I've already mentioned. Your child have a higher risk of depression, anxiety, lack of motivation, school-related problems, behavior-related problems, social-related problems like social withdrawal, eating problems, physical problems. And the one that I'm kind of more concerned about is that they are not going to be able to see their true potential. They're not going to be able to see their amazing qualities. So they're not going to be able to see their own self. And that is not a good place to be for your child. So maybe your child is struggling with low self-esteem and insecurities, and you're wondering, how can I help my child? Again, as I said before, it is never too late, right? So this week's parenting hacks is focus on recognizing the strengths of each one of your children more than their faults. Focus more on their strengths, their individual strengths, more than you focus on their faults. And let them know. Tell them, bring it up whenever it's possible, whenever it's appropriate. Not over and over and over again, because when they're feeling like this, when they're having low self-esteem, keep in mind that they're not necessarily believing what we're saying. So we have to kind of be very tactful about it. But when there is a possibility, or when there is a situation in which you can remind them of their strengths and say thank you to them, do it. So let me give you some examples. Say that you see your child working on their homework and he or she's making a great deal effort to do that. Maybe you can say something like this: I love it when you work hard on your homework. I appreciate that you're keeping up with your schoolwork and I don't have to remind you, right? Maybe you are listening to them practice their instrument. And then when they're done practicing, you can say something as simple as, I was listening to you practice your instrument and you are sounding really good. You're getting better. I see that your notes are more, that they flow better or they're smoother, whatever you want to say. Maybe they just had a good game, or even if it wasn't a good game, but your child was a team player, you can bring it up after the game. Hey, you were such a true team player today during the game. That is so great. And or maybe they clean up something, they pick up something and you catch them picking up something from the floor, or putting away something. Just say, hey, thank you so much for putting that glass away. Thank you so much for picking up that napkin. I really appreciate it. So again, just focus, put more attention, put more focus on their strengths than you put on their faults. And it's just kind of like a mind shift here. Let's focus more on what they're able to do, what they're good at. And of course, we're here to discipline them. We're here to mold them. And we're here to help them be amazing individuals as they grow up. But at the same time, sometimes unintentionally, we focus on their faults more, and we bring up their faults more than we bring up their strengths. And that's why, mom, it's so important that you bring up to each one of your children individually their strengths, and at the right time, of course. Again, it happens. Sometimes we compare our kids, and sometimes we see the results of comparing. Maybe one of your children is experiencing low self-esteem right now. So again, this is my parenting hack for this week. To sum it up, is to recognize your child's strengths separately, individually, let them know, and always be honest with them. Don't make it up. Don't make it bigger than it is. If it's something simple, keep it simple. They will appreciate your honesty and your simplicity, even though they might not tell you. So there you have it, mom. I hope that this parenting hack is helpful to you. So this week, keep an eye on your child's behavior. And when he or she is doing something that is amazing, bring it up in a very subtle, cool way, right? And focus more on your children's strengths individually. Instead of comparing them, just focus on each one of them individually and celebrate that and thank them for that. So before I let you go, as always, I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you do not miss out on any future episodes. And if you like these episodes, go ahead and share with other moms that might benefit from it. And of course, if you have not done so yet, get your copy of my book, Moms Don't Quit, at your local Barnes & Noble bookstore, or you can go online as well, and Amazon they have the book as well. So until my next episode, have a wonderful week. Bye.